Guys, I just want to get the blue milk. Target didn't have it. I'm at Walmart. I know they have it. I'm getting fear. I'm experiencing fear about walking out of this Walmart with nothing but a half gallon of electric blue milk. But then, in the midst of my fear, in the midst of my anxiety, I thought, what would Johnny do? What would Sue do? What would Reed do? What would Ben do? Would they stay back, scared of what other people are thinking of them, scared of the competition, or would they forge on and make something fantastic? Yes! Yes! Okay, I want to address the elephant in the room before we get too deep into it. Right, I got the Johnny one, not the Sue one like I wanted because I was feeling too self-conscious to dig through the cooler. I mean, I'm not really sure, like, if the character corresponds with, like, what powers you get or, like, what the vibe is. But let's try this thing. I think I'll try it in my beautiful wine glass. So I had a little theory that this was gonna taste like strawberry milk and it was just reskinned, you know, bluified. But I'm sitting here wafting, smelling this. This ain't strawberry milk. I'm scared. It literally smells like Jolly Ranchers. I don't want my milk to taste like Jolly Ranchers. Let me take out my retainer. Okay, guys, are you ready? Are you ready for me to try it? Yum. I love it. What's happening to me? Guys? Jurassic World Rebirth. The seventh entry in the Jurassic World franchise, Rebirth introduces mutant dinosaurs into the classic tropical setting that has made these films so popular. The film follows Zora Bennett, Dr. Henry Loomis, and Duncan Kincaid as they journey onto an abandoned testing island for the original Jurassic Park. Their goal is to successfully extract blood samples from 3 of the most infamous dinosaurs to make huge advancements in a cutting-edge heart disease medication. And there's a nice paycheck to go with it. After rescuing a family that journeyed too close to the island, they realize they may have bit off more than they can chew as bodies pile up, or at least what's left of them. I talked about this movie quite a bit in my tier list of all the Jurassic World movies, so I won't talk you too long about this, but it's interesting to kind of be a month out from this release and see how well it's done, because a lot of people weren't super enthused about this one, even though the last one was so bad and so poorly received, yet it made $1 billion. And this one is kind of doing the same. I don't think it's going to cross 1 billion. I haven't checked for a while, but it's still done super, super well. And allegedly, it was pretty cheap to make. So that's really interesting from a business perspective. From an entertainment perspective, this movie is really good. It's just fun. The scene with the T-Rex and the raft is so fun. The cast, I think that something these movies haven't had a lot is a super star-studded cast like this. 3 well-respected actors in your lead roles is huge. And I also like that it takes us back to the island vibes. I think part of the fun is that even for someone like me who lives in the Midwest, when I go to the theater to see Jurassic Park, I get to have some island time. Even if it's a scary dinosaur island, it's still the fun tropical vibe. And that's real exciting. Now, I do agree with some complaints about this movie that maybe mutant dinosaurs weren't the play, just because it's like, hey, normal dinosaurs are cool enough. We don't have to make them look lumpy. And they were right about that. I still thought mutant dinosaurs were cool though, but going forward, I would encourage them maybe not to do too much with that unless they have something really groundbreaking and cool to do. I do want them to make more in maybe a new trilogy even with these characters, just because I think they have a lot of room to grow, and they did a lot of slightly annoying character building work in this movie that would make a trilogy with these characters have a lot of good payoff. I would love to see what they do with the heart medication that they were studying on the island. Superman. The long awaited start of the rebooted DC Cinematic Universe, Superman takes on the challenge of introducing over a dozen new iterations of beloved comic characters and does so quite successfully. As Lex Luthor launches a barrage of different methods to challenge the caped hero, the film follows Superman as he responds to these threats with unwavering bravery and unshakable morality. Lois Lane and the other reporters at the Daily Planet, Mr. Terrific and the Justice Gang, and even the citizens of Metropolis all rally behind Superman through growing stakes. Using its premise to make real statements about compassion and justice, Superman reconnects the modern superhero movie with the heart of the comics that made these stories possible, while inspiring audiences everywhere that, with a little bit of empathy, they can be a superhero too. Guys, Superman was really, really good. I know I hinted at my thoughts on this movie a little bit in my previous video on Wonder Woman, which you should go check out if you're interested at all. I just have so much to say, and I think really, like I said in my synopsis, something that's really a standout from this movie and how it's been received is that there's this idea going around that it's really reviving the heart of what it means to be a superhero. Superman has such clear empathy and compassion in this movie, and it's actually something to aspire to, which I think is so, so powerful. Like I said in that Wonder Woman video, our heroes should be someone that we can look to for our morality. And obviously, okay, we don't want to be basing everything we do off of fictional superheroes, but we also don't want to be highlighting and elevating people that are pushing something bad or don't represent something good. And so I thought that that was a really hopeful and powerful message from this movie, and I really liked it. Clark or Soupy, Clark or Superman, Lois, Lex Luthor, I would argue are the three best versions of these characters that have ever existed. And they're all three in the same movie, which is so fun. And it was just amazing. I also loved the supporting characters. My friends that I've talked to about this movie know that I am a number one hot girl fan. That scene where she is dealing with the president of Moravia, and he says, "You wouldn't kill me. I know Superman and his friends won't kill me." And she looks him in the eyes and she goes, "I ain't Superman." Woo! Everyone cheered. And hey, is that a crazy thing for me to say immediately after saying that heroes should set a standard for our morality? Okay, maybe yes. But here's the thing. She was a supporting character, so it's fine. And also, it was cool, and he was horrible. Okay? Superman was a great way to start off James Gunn's new DCU, and quite frankly, because of how good it is, I trust him. I'm so excited to see Supergirl next summer, and I'm excited to see what else is in store for his universe because I love so many DC characters. Trust you'll be getting some fan casting videos from me soon because I have thoughts on the Teen Titans, I have thoughts on the Bat family, and so much more. Eddington. Another thought provoking film from Ari Aster, Eddington boldly jumps into the heat of America in 2020 and does not pull its punches. Centered around a mayoral battle between conservative Sheriff Joe Cross and liberal current Mayor Ted Garcia, the film analyzes the complexity of why we believe what we believe and what lengths we will go to maintain our power. Technology feeds into shallow ideologies, baseless accusations ruin lives, and a stark shift into violent response all send powerful messages as the tension builds into the third act. In an age where it often feels like no one is willing to have the hard conversations necessary to move forward, Eddington feels like a breath of fresh air. It does not attempt to mend the division it so sharply critiques, but there is a glimmer of hope in recognizing the problem. I would be doing a disservice to this movie if I tried to do like a half commentary on it even in this video. So I'm just going to give you some real short standout notes. I thought that it was really, really intelligent. I'm not positive that it fully sticks the landing in expressing the themes that it's trying to tackle, but I still really liked it. And the more I've sat with it, the more I've liked it. In fact, I'll probably raise my Letterboxd review for it a little bit because it's grown on me so much since I saw it. And I have watched a commentary about it to help me more understand the themes. But after doing that deep dive into those commentaries, I have found that there was so much good substance in here. I really, really like um the look into division. That's something I'm personally very passionate about, is not being divided, because we live in a culture where people hate when other people have power over them and use it to do bad things, yet we settle for a system that is so divided, and the division is what's giving those people power over us. A group of people united is so much more powerful, because here's what you don't understand about the people at the top. If they can get us to fight each other, then they don't have to do it themselves. This movie showed how easy it is to get us to fight each other, because everyone has their own personal ideologies and everyone has their own beliefs, and they're in these echo chambers online of Twitter and all these other websites where we just get our opinion fed back to us and regurgitated and slightly changed, and it breeds these super dangerous mentalities that lead to real world conflict. And I just think that this movie was a really bold swing from Ari Aster, and even in the areas it misses, I'm really glad that it exists, because I just felt like that no one was willing to have the conversation that this movie has, and here it is with all these big name actors in it. And hey, that's a win in my books. I Know What You Did Last Summer. The fourth film in the franchise, I Know What You Did Last Summer, bearing the same name as the original, follows a familiar outline. A group of young adults, this time 5 instead of 4, inadvertently cause a fatal accident on the 4th of July, erase the evidence, and hope to leave the traumatic night behind them. Unfortunately, their trauma is just beginning. Exactly 1 year and some massive life changes later, someone begins targeting the friends and bodies start showing up. A mad dash ensues as Ava Brooks and the others race to figure out who is hunting them before they become the next victims in the intense killing spree. In the midst of Southport's all-out 4th of July celebration, one thing is clear. Whoever is behind this definitely knows what they did last summer. Okay, so this was the closest thing I could even remotely think of in my room that was even had a vibe of the movie. And quite frankly, I think in some ways it's working. Okay? In some ways it is. Also, if there was a drop in camera quality, I was running out of storage, so I lowered that bad boy a little bit. I Know What You Did Last Summer. I thought that this movie was really fun. And I am a big fan of this genre of movie, like a whodunit situation. I love the Scream movies. And I won't spoil who was the bad guy at the end, because it's not been out for super long. But let's just say I thought that they did something really bold with that, and I am glad that they took that risk, whether or not it worked. I think that this movie could have been actually really great and not just okay and entertaining and like fine, if the script was tightened up a little bit, because I think that they fell victim to that thing where they try to write Gen Z characters, and in some moments it's really accurate and good, and like the slang doesn't feel forced, but then in some moments, they're getting serial killed and they're like, "Yes, mama, slay boots." And I'm like, "You're being chased. You're being chased by a killer. There's no boots about it." But yeah, I just don't have that much to say about this movie. It was fun. And I love a 4th of July set movie that includes fireworks scenes. Fantastic Four: First Steps. The highly anticipated debut of Marvel's first family in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Fantastic Four: First Steps not only introduces us to Reed Richards, Sue and Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm, but is the most comics accurate adaptation of the family to date. After faithfully serving the entire world as scientists, astronauts, and diplomats, the Fantastic Four face a threat that even the smartest man in the universe may not be able to overcome. As the Silver Surfer descends on this universe's retro-futuristic New York City, she warns of the coming Devourer, Galactus. The team attempts to negotiate with the cosmic power, but when he asks too high a price, they work around the clock to save their world from its impending doomsday. This may be the toughest battle the Fantastic Four has ever faced, but whatever happens, they'll get through it together, as a family. It was so good, and I'll try not to let recency bias creep in, because I will say, one little problem that they had going on in this movie, before I go on and on about how much I liked it, is there were a few CGI problems. So okay, but you can tell a couple times. And honestly, the movie's so good that those CGI moments didn't really bother me that much. But let's talk about the movie because it is so good. First of all, I just want to get this out of the way. Silver Surfer, Julia Garner, Shalal Bal, she is so cool. I would say a lot of my favorite action moments in this movie come in scenes that have to do with her. And like I said in my TikTok, she was aura farming to the max. And I appreciated it because here's the thing, she was chasing them through that ship. She did not have to surf across all that lava. Her board flies. She can go wherever she wants. Yet she surfed a barrel through the lava. Thank you. Thank you for that cinematic moment. And speaking of that scene, the whole Franklin being birthed scene, truly one of the peak MCU sequences ever, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people will agree. Now let's talk about the four, of course. Sue is my favorite, but Sue is my favorite Marvel Comics character, so it makes sense that I would like her in the movies. I even like her in the old movies, and those movies aren't too good. But she was so powerful here. I really love the visual of her powers and how it has kind of that rainbow iridescent look to it that really emphasizes that what she's doing is bending light. And the application of that is that she can make herself invisible. Johnny was so good. I also love him. He's a top character for me as well. And Joseph Quinn was just really good in this role. I know a lot of people had doubts about him. Me personally, I'm a Joseph Quinn truther. And something I liked about him is that he was also smart. People don't talk about this enough, that the fact that these four were all astronauts that could go to space means that they are all smart scientists. And of course, they all brought different skills to that team. But the fact that we see Johnny in this movie being able to make a connection between the Silver Surfer's native language and our English, and the fact that he's able to translate her speech is so cool and such a cool thing that they've never done with Johnny's character before, which is my favorite thing about this movie is that all four of them feel like they're on level playing field. Sue doesn't feel like the token woman of the team. Reed is emphasized to be such a smart guy, but he doesn't feel like he's just his brain. He cares about his family and he cares about Franklin. Ben has a lot going on. He's definitely the least developed character in this movie, but he still gets tons of stuff to do with his potential romance that they hint at in the movie, and just with the way that he clearly holds them all together, in the way that he talks to them. He clearly knows all three of the other members so deeply. That's just so Ben Grimm. If I had to pick a favorite out of these movies, it would be Fantastic Four. And I know that could change since I just saw it, but I don't think it's going to. I truly think that everything about it story wise was really good. And I'm so excited to see these characters going forward. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making this one. I thought it was a lot of fun. And let me know what else you guys want from me. If there's any video requests or ideas you have, I would love to hear those. And I would also love it if you dropped a comment down below, left a like, and subscribed, because that helps me a lot as I'm trying to grow this channel. And also, I hope that your week is great, and I hope that you unlock secret superpowers from cosmic rays as you travel through space. Goodbye!